Chapter 10. To Catch a Killer. After giving your statement, you step out of the precinct for some fresh air, only to be met with a swarm of reporters. Sam, over here, tell us about how you apprehended the killer. Sam, is it true the killer was targeting you and your family and friends specifically? I can't speak to motive, I'm just lucky to be alive. Now, if you'll excuse me. You turn back, but the reporters block your way, closing in around you. Just one more soundbite. Would you back off? But they don't. Instead, they draw near, and as you start to seriously consider clawing your way free, you hear Detective Porter's voice over the crowd. All right, vultures, clear out. You can wait for a briefing on the investigation from my department like everyone else. Detective Porter pushes his way past the reporters and ushers you through the crowd and into the precinct. You breathe a sigh of relief. Never thought I'd be glad to see you. Thanks for the rescue. Don't thank me. I only came looking for you because your perp's interrogation is about to start. The mayor wants you listening for the record. When does Mayor Jackson care what I think? She doesn't. She cares what you're going to say. Without another word, Detective Porter heads for the small room in the back, and you hurry to follow. As he pushes open the door, you enter to find yourself looking through a one-way mirror at the man who broke into your home. He looks so creepy. Alone. I don't know, in a way, he kind of looks alone. Though every inch of you feels repulsed at the thought of him, you can't help but notice how antsy he is in the room all by himself. But where's his lawyer? Or his advocate, or really anyone? He's all alone and they're just pacing. It almost makes me feel bad for him. I wouldn't waste too much sympathy on him. After all, this is the man who killed your sister. That we assume. It wasn't that long ago that you thought I was the killer. How can you be so sure now? You mean it's beside my gut? One look at this will do the trick. Detective picks up a thick manila folder and opens it to a rap sheet. Meet Brian Bunn. Previously criminal record as long as my entire body, not to mention a history of trespassing, stalking, assault. Where was this guy when I was your prime suspect? Probably in the abandoned wing of the prison. We think he's been sleeping there and at Stabby Joe's gravesite. The ground has been disturbed more than once. That would explain my wounds, returning Stabby Joe's DNA. They must have transferred over when he attacked me. The detective's head snaps towards you and you immediately realize your mistake. How do you know about the DNA sample? Lucky guess? Luckily for you, the interrogation begins next door, and the two of you quickly quiet down to listen in. Mr. Bunn, if you could please stay in the present moment. No, but that's not the point. None of us will be in the present moment without Joseph Campbell. Nobody on this damn island understands that, and those Carpenter kids are an insult to his legacy. The younger one abandoned the island, the older one just does her ridiculous social media crap. It's like they don't even care at all. Does is in present tense? Maybe he's just a good actor, but Brian sounds like he doesn't know Destiny is dead. He glances over at Detective Porter, but his expression is unreadable. Just keep quiet for now. Porter isn't exactly begging to share his innermost thoughts with me. Besides, if I'm right, that means the real killer's still out there. You take in the detective's rigid stance and the way his eyes track Brian like a predator watching its prey. Or in here. You turn your attention back to the interrogation, giving your suspicions to yourself. So, if I'm hearing this right, you were motivated to kill by the disrespect to Stabby Joe's legacy? Wait, who did I kill again? Destiny, Carpenter, Brian, you killed her. I did? You did. But we need to know about the others. What about Alan, Coda? Were they just collateral damage in your path to the Carpenters? Alan! Is that The kid who died at the party a few days ago. What does he have to do with anything? These questions are so leading. This can't be legal. Oh, and he's not of really sound mind, and he's very confused. But Detective Porter doesn't so much as flinch, his expression hardening as he grumbles under his breath. Come on, come on. As the detective focus locks into the interrogation happening next door, you can't help but turn your attention to him. So after Alan's murder, Detective Porter was so sure it was me, he wouldn't consider another suspect, and now all of a sudden he's sure it's Brian? Something about this isn't sitting right with me. Yeah, but if they did that, they're literally just ripping off from the past Scream movie. Like, the literal most recent one. They're ripping off from that. But there's no way he's looking for her. If there's one thing I know, it's killers, and Detective Porter doesn't have the stones. He's an order taker, an underling born and bred, but there is someone who's been pulling the strings since before I stepped off of the ferry. Yeah, the mayor. Immediately your mind goes back to Mayor Jackson. The way she used her influence to cover up the crimes, her indifference to the kidnapping, her sudden interest in you now that your story is gaining traction. Horrified, you look at Brian through the one-way mirror, his eyebrows knit in confusion. What if it's all a front? Next door, the officer starts in on Brian again. Let's try again. When you killed those people at the Terror Fest parade, did you pick them specifically, or did they just get in your way? I'm not sure I know what we're talking about. You mean the parade the other night? Don't play games with me, Brian. We know you killed those people. The cop rises to her feet and pulls out a pair of handcuffs before walking around the table, palming the back of his head and shoving his face down with a hard thwack. If you lie to me again, we'll skip the confession. I'll just jump straight to locking you up. What do you think about that, Stabby Joe? She leans in, growling in his ear, and as the moniker rolls off of her tongue, Brian's eyes sink closed, and the look on his face is pure ecstasy. Okay, you got me. I did it all. That's more like it. Now, let's talk about how. Next to you, Detective Porter grins. Got him. Mayor's gonna love this. But before you can finish, he turns to you, and the smug look on his face stops you cold. Congratulations, Sam. You just caught a murderer. No, I caught a patsy. He charges out of the room, and you follow, only find your friends in the lobby waiting for you. I thought we were all meeting here. Where'd you go? Porter brought me back to watch the interrogation. The guy, Brian, he confessed. Well, didn't he kinda have to? We caught him red-handed, after all. Not just for the break-in, for Destiny, Alan, Coda, all of it. Did you just say the murderer confessed? You whip your head around to see one of the reporters from earlier just inside the doorway. That's gonna make one hell of a headline. Before you can react, he's already flinging open the precinct door, shouting at full volume, They got him! He confessed! It's over! You're an idiot. The crowd outside cheers, and as you peer through the doorframe, you see it's grown even bigger than it was earlier. Worried partiers have since joined the flock, and as news ripples through in waves, you can practically see them cast their fears aside. Oh my god, we all survived Stabby 2.0! T-shirts, get your I Live t-shirts here! And don't forget to relive that history that started it all. Abandoned Prison tour tickets are here, folks. Oh, they're still at it. It's like they haven't learned anything. It's because they all deserve to die. As the words slip from your lips, a hand squeezes your shoulder, and you turn to face Tyson. He leads you away from the mob outside and out of earshot, his face the picture of concern. Sam, what's going on? You look like you've seen a ghost. The festivities ramp up outside, and as the echoes of laughter and conversation reach you, all you can think of is the danger you all might still be in. I know this sounds crazy, but I just keep thinking, what if he didn't do it? What? But he just confessed. I know, but there was something about the way he confessed. The officer called him Stabby Joe, and it's almost like he was happy. It's weird. Yeah, if Coda was here, he would agree. It's worse than that. When I first saw the guy, he was only interested in me because I was related to Stabby Joe. Okay, so if it's not him, who is it? That's the problem, I don't know. Maybe it's Detective Porter, maybe it's the mayor, maybe I've blown the whole thing out of proportion, and it is Brian. The whole thing has me seriously questioning my instincts, and there are too many options to know who I can trust. You hang your head, Tyson gives your arm a squeeze. Well, you know you can trust me, right? Why not lay it all out for me? An outside perspective might be just what you need to narrow down the most likely suspects. You meet a smile with one of your own, and you can't help but feel a surge of hope. You might be right. Maybe if I can get everything out of my head, I'll be able to see it clear. Quickly, Scooby and the gang, let's go to the, I don't know, looks like town hall or the college university. But not here. There's gotta be somewhere we can talk in private. You stalk the halls before finding an empty conference room and pushing the door open, leading Tyson inside. Perfect. And there's even a whiteboard in here. I think the best way to start is just to throw everything out and see what sticks. I can take notes while we talk. In that case, I guess we should start by listing out all the obvious suspects. We have Brian. He paces Tyson, uncaps a marker, and takes his place at the board, scrawling as you speak. And I think we need to put the rest of us back up there too, just to be thorough. Sure, you also mentioned the detective and mayor, and I agree, because you're definitely suspicious. But we can't forget about the early copycat killer that was never caught. Seriously? I thought we were looking at all the possibilities. Fair enough, and I think we'd better add the reporter too. Tyson finishes the list and steps back to look at his work. Yeah, we never did find her body or really anything besides the nose, which did anyone run DNA on that? There's a lot of suspects. The easiest way to tackle them all would be in groups. Quickly, he separates the list of suspects into your Finn group, the authority figures, and the leftovers. Alright, starting with us, who do you trust the least? Obviously, I trust you and me, so... who do you trust the least? I hate this option, I really do, but I'm just gonna stay with Zaire. I swear to God, if it's you, I'm gonna be a little sad. Zaire. The fact that their mom is trying to squash the coverage of the murders is a pretty crazy coincidence. She could be doing it for her re-election, but trying to protect her kid is a compelling reason too. Plus, you said they had the knowledge and access to the tunnels that would be letting them sneak around quickly and without being seen. Right, and we don't know the layout, so there's no way we can be sure they've been where we thought they were. Tyson wipes away the rest of your group, jots down your suspicions about Zaire before turning to look at you. Okay, what about some of the reasons they might be innocent? Well, they seem pretty determined to take down their mom. They seem genuinely angry when we found out their mom's involvement in all this. Tyson takes notes dutifully, pausing only once he's gotten it all down. Okay, got it. Let's do the next group. I think that would be the mayor and the detective. Between the two, I'd pick... Swear to God, if it's a cop, I'm gonna be tilted, but... Mayor. It's just really sus. It's just super weird how she keeps turning it up in all of this. Okay, but if she's as concerned with a re-election as she seems, why risk it all by killing anyone, let alone that many people? Serial murder in a small town isn't much of a political strategy, but I think there's something there. Fair enough. Without another word, Tyson swipes away on the other option and replaces the name with your suspicions. Alright, that just leaves Brian, Bex, and the first copycat killer who was never caught. You turn your attention to the last group and sigh. Of these three, I've got to say I'm not getting murder vibes. Isn't that all the more reason to check them out? The best murderers were right under everyone's noses and went undiscovered for years. This is true. You think back to Brian, obsessively grabbing at you, Bex's constant sneakiness, and the general air of mystery around the former copycat killer. I guess it's not completely unreasonable to suspect them. So out of this bunch, who are you thinking? I don't think it's Brian. I think he's just an obsessed nutbag that just wanted to be a copycat but didn't have the cojones to be the actual copycat. Or Stabby Joe. Figuring he got called Stabby Joe, all of a sudden he got a cojone feely, tingly feely, and was like, ooh, yeah. No, he's an idiot. Copycat, I don't know. Let's go with Bex. Again, we never found her body. I think we might have dismissed her as a suspect too soon. In fairness, we did assume she was dead. Which is a pretty good way to make sure we aren't looking for her. You sound like Coda. Maybe it's crazy, but if we're investigating every option, I don't think we should discount her completely without proof. Tyson jots down your thoughts and gestures at the board. Okay, that leaves us with our top suspects, none of which are based on any concrete evidence. You stare at the marked board until the letters start to swim before your eyes. No proof, just vibes. At this point, I'm no better than Detective Porter. Yeah, but you're not accepting a cop-out. One thing we know you have that Porter doesn't is the best of intentions. The road to hell is paved with those. If I'm right, an innocent man is going to jail and someone out there is going to have access to an all-you-can-kill smorgasbord, and I can't nail down a suspect. With a sigh, you turn to Tyson. What do you think? Honestly, I think it's gotta be Brian. But what about the interview? Tyson shoots you a sympathetic smile. I don't see it. But it's possible all the running and fighting for lies from the last few days is starting to take its toll. Brian broke into your house to kill us all. I can see how that could ruin your sense of safety, but it's over now. You're safe, Sam. Tyson grips your shoulder in both of his hands and turns you to face his strong, unyielding gaze. I'm not so sure. I just can't stop thinking about how he really seemed to think Destiny was still alive. And I wish you could have seen the way they got his confession. That's fair. Like I said, I didn't see the interrogation, so I wouldn't know. But, based on what I do know, just be careful, Sam. He's still a threat. If not to everyone else, then definitely to you. Yeah, I'll remember that. Glance at the board and find the physical representation of your mind's inner workings patiently written in Tyson's loving hand, and you feel at peace. Tyson, thank you for hearing me out on this. I know I must sound crazy. We're in the middle of a murder investigation on an island where #1 tourist attraction is a festival celebrating a murderer. Your suspicions haven't even cracked the top 10 craziest things I've heard today. Still, it's nice to have someone I can say all this out loud to, and the inside of my head is kind of a mess. He shoots you a small smile. What's inside your head is the only reason we survived this long. Give yourself a break, Sam. He caps a marker, and as he approaches, you realize, though you're alone together, you feel completely safe. It's a pleasant feeling, one you've grown to appreciate over the last few days, and you can't help but draw near like a moth to a flame. Even though we had feelings for Coda, he's dead now, so, Still, I feel like I owe you one or something. I should thank him with... We're just gonna give him a huggy. After all, this would be way too much to handle on our own. I mean, we did have feelings for Tyson too, but I'm glad I have you to work through it with. You wrap your arms around him in a tight hug, appreciating him as the light in the darkness of everything that's happened. Are you kidding? There's no one I'd rather catch a murderer with. Me too, but we should probably get back to the others now. Yeah, let me erase the board really quickly. He swipes away your notes, and feeling calmer than you have in days, you slip out of the room towards the lobby. But as the two of you make your way back to your friends, you find Mayor Jackson standing with them waiting for you. Sam, just the person I wanted to see. You were the least person I wanted to see. I wanted to express my gratitude for your assistance in apprehending such a dangerous man. The island owes you a great debt. Punch her. What? Well, you know, someone had to do something about the literal murder on the loose. You watch as her smile fights against becoming a sneer. Well, be as it may, I am very proud of you all. I wanted to give you my condolences for the tragic loss of Coda. I sent the coroner to retrieve him, and his remains are being treated with the utmost respect. Respect? What do you know about respect? You don't even deserve to say Coda's name. If that's what you'd prefer. But despite her words, an expression doesn't show an ounce of care, and deep down you feel a flame in your belly ignite. Punch her, punch her, punch her. What? I should let her have it. Deep breath, and scene. Respect. I'm sorry. I just have to do that. Okay, no, seriously, someone you hate. Respect would not have been letting Coda's dead body linger in my living room for hours. That's really on you. But thanks to your power trip, no one here would take my call. Do you have any idea how many times I walked past him before I could get anyone to take me seriously enough to investigate? You step closer, and all around the room, officers freeze in anticipation, but you just lower your voice to a whisper. 22. One for each year he'd been alive. Ironic, right? Now we've given our statements. Are we free to go? The past few days have been a literal nightmare, and we deserve some peace and quiet. I wholeheartedly agree. Let my driver take you home. She gestures toward the door, and as you fight against the uneasy feeling in your gut, you follow the mayor outside. Kick her like in Sparta down the stairs, right into a slew of reporters. You try to make your way through, but Mayor Jackson grips your arm, holding you in place as she lowers her voice until only you can hear it. Right after you make a statement about how thrilled you are we caught the killer. Sam! Right here, Sam! As cameras flash, and reporters start shouting questions directed at you and the mayor, you feel your stomach churn. And if I refuse? You're free to try and duck them on your own, but you know how relentless they can be. Sam? Behind you, Tyson and Lucky tug at the precinct doors to find them locked. Oh my god. You have to know that confession was forced. You were all the mayor, not bothered to hide the disgust on your face. What happens if someone else drops dead? This might not be over. What I know is that the Marillic Island runs on the backs of partying hooligans who like to get drunk and spend all of their money. And if you think you're going to stand between this town and the livelihood of its residents, I think you'll find yourself standing alone. And alone is a dangerous place to find yourself lately. Wouldn't you agree? Careful, Mayor. That sounds an awful lot like a threat. Or a confession. Take it how you will, but I'm allowing you to be the hero of this thing. Cross me and you'll regret it. For a moment you pause, looking desperately for a way out, but finding none. Bullsh! Fine, one brief statement, and then you can call your dogs off so we can get out of here. Oh, that's what I thought. She turns to the crowd of reporters, and she steps up to the podium, her hand clenched, your fists at your side. Hello, everyone. Some of you may have heard of the tragic deaths of several young people over the past few days, but I am greatly relieved to be able to tell you today that the man responsible has been apprehended. Please let me introduce the young woman who was essential in bringing that man to justice, Sam Carpenter. As you make your way to the podium, the mayor stops you, gripping your hand a little too tight. No no matter how you feel about me, I kept this news from the public for a reason. Widespread panic won't help anyone. No, it just helps your re-election by not having panic. She lets go, moving on without giving you a chance to respond, and you can't help but think about her words. She's right. That keeping the peace with a killer on the loose is a recipe for disaster, but the people have a right to know the truth, don't they? As you take the podium, reporters start shouting questions over each other. Miss Carpenter, is it true that the killer has been caught? We've heard the sources, and your friends and family say we're the only targets. Are residents safe here on the island? What about the parade the other day and all those people? We didn't even know them. That's over to Mayor Jackson, and she looks at you expectantly. Oh, sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real. Tell them exactly what's going on. A fate has been sealed. The churning in your stomach bubbles, hot and unyielding, and without a second thought, you feel the truth slip from your lips. To be honest with you, I don't know. The man we caught did break into my house, and he was clearly obsessed with me and my family's connection to Stabby Joe, but I have reason to suspect he is not responsible for the recent deaths. Wait, you mean there really is a killer on the loose? I'd like to forward all questions to our illustrious mayor. At that, the reporters erupt into chaos, pushing even closer to the steps. Mayor Jackson, how long have you known about this? You slip a hand behind her waist and shoving her to the podium as you step back. As I'm sure you can imagine, my office is very busy, so I will not be available for comment. You're standing right there. Before the words are fully out of her mouth, you drag your friends away from the cameras and reporters, not stopping until you're well out of earshot. Well, if we weren't sure for before, there's no denying there's some kind of conspiracy going on here with the mayor. That's for sure. Is it just me, or did it sound like she basically admitted she could murder you with immunity? I heard it too. The problem is no one else did, and if we're gonna take a shot at the top, we need heavy-duty artillery. The detective told me that Brian had been sleeping in the abandoned prison. Maybe there's something there that could tie him to Mayor Jackson. Yeah, but there's no way we're getting in there. It's close to the public. Okay, and what the hell was he? Damn it. Oh my god, help me. You let your head hang, and for a moment all seems lost until you open your eyes. Actually, I might have a way in. You kneel to pick up a discarded prison tour template, smoothing it out enough to read the phone number on the front. Quickly, you whip out your phone and dial. Yes, I'd like 4 tickets to the abandoned prison tour, please. I was about to say, I swear to God, if they ended the chapter there, I'm mad. Later, you and your friends are waiting outside Marillic Island Maximum Security Federal Penitentiary with a group of tourists trying to blend in. You're wearing football attire, I'm just saying. Go ahead, hate me in the comments, I don't care. You know I'm right. If you told me a few days ago I'd be on the stupid tour, I would have gotten straight back onto the ferry and gone somewhere far, far away. Remember, it's for a good cause. Maybe. How are we supposed to do our own thing when we've got all these people around? We wait for the perfect opportunity, and keep an eye out for my signal. One by one, your friends nod, and you watch as the loud mouth from your arrival moves to the front of the crowd. Alright, everyone, I'm Artie Atkins, and I'll be your tour guide if you'll just follow me. You hold up a hand, motioning for your friends to hold off until you're at the very back of the group, and then no one's looking. Now, as soon as your friends are inside the prison, you silently beckon your friends into a nearby hallway, and when you no longer hear Artie's voice, you let out a sigh. Anyone else feel like that was comically easy? How are there no alarms, traps, or anything? Because it's a penitentiary, not like you're breaking into Fort Knox. This isn't exactly a fun place to go for a walk, Sam. Some of the tunnels lead to here, and it's pretty creepy. Which, hold on, why did we not use the damn tunnels? Naughty! Alright, whatever. You hold out a hand, sweeping it across the dust-covered walls. It could use some cleaning, but it seems fine to me. But as you take a step forward, one of the floorboards bends dangerously under your weight. Whoa. Before you know it, the board breaks and you feel the ground disappear beneath you. I should grab hold, jump up, throw my weight. I'm gonna go ahead and grab hold. You flail your arms out, windmilling them through the air like an Acme dumbass. Sam! Without hesitation, Tyson grabs hold of you and drags you back. Are you okay? Yeah, just watch your step, guys. Some of the floorboards here are a little sketchy. Do we even know where we're going? Because blindly wandering around hoping to find something doesn't seem like the best method. Lucky's right. This place is huge. We need to narrow things down. If Brian was really sleeping here, he would need a bed. Every cell has a bed. And if I were sleeping in the same jail as a serial killer I'm obsessed with, I know exactly which bed I'd choose. Stabby Joe's cell has got to be around here somewhere. But as you press further into the prison, you realize there's no shortage of cells, and all of them look the same. This is a lot of ground to cover, Sam. We need more to work with. As the four of you continue down the hallway past a locked door, and an idea dawns on you. Wait, the inmates aren't the only ones in prison. Isn't there usually an office or something for the warden? I bet there's a roster in there that would tell us exactly which cell was Stabby Joe's. You lead your group towards a bank of locked doors and carefully peer into the dark spaces looking for that one that holds all the answers. Still, it's slow going, and your friends drag under the repeated disappointment. Is it wrong that I'm starting to hope we don't find anything? Maybe then all this can just be over. Thinking like that is what got us in this situation in the first place. Everyone turned a blind eye to the situation, and now look where we are, where Coda and Destiny are. Geez, Sam. No one's saying that it's not worth doing, just that the situation kinda sucks. Whoa, don't fight. You guys, Sam's right, and at least we're all here together, right? Right. Still, as you return to your haunt, the mood is palpably more tense. Finally, just as you're about to admit that this may not have been the best idea, Lucky calls out, "You know what you should have done? You should have gone on the tour. They might have gone past his cell, or at least near it." Hey, I think I found it. You and your friends pry open the doors, and as you step inside, the desk piled with folders and rows of file cabinets against one wall give you a surge of hope. Let's spread out, start looking through everything. We may be looking for the cell assignments, but you never know what might be useful. You immerse yourself in the warden's files, rifling through the ledgers of prisons, accounts, rosters of guards, until... You guys, I think I've got something. You crowd around Tyson to get a look at the file he's holding. It's labeled Campbell Joseph. That's gotta be Stabby Joe, right? Did you just ask that? I think so. It's kind of hard to read. You take the paper, setting it slowly to get a feel for the handwriting. It's pretty messy, but this word here is definitely released. But that doesn't make sense. The whole point of the legend of Stabby Joe is that he escaped and killed people. The heart starts to pound in your chest, as suddenly the very story that has haunted your whole life starts to crack. I'm starting to think we don't know the whole story. The whole story is our MC actually has brain damage. Figuring how stupid she is. See through Stabby Joe's eyes. How does that work? Now, playing as Joseph Campbell. Give it up, Campbell. Everyone knows you're guilty. Your confession is just the icing on the cake. I haven't confessed because there's nothing to confess to. I found a man lying in a puddle of his own blood. I tried to help. The only thing I'm guilty of is being a good citizen. Right, of course. Never mind the overwhelming evidence against you. Wait, so hold on. He's a cop and a prison security guard. Wow. I didn't do it! What evidence could there possibly be? I'm afraid that's privileged information. How can I possibly defend myself if I don't even know what the evidence is against me? I guess that's an issue, isn't it? He laughs, long and merciless, and you feel yourself becoming overcome with emotion. Look, I know you must have heard this 1,000 times, but I'm telling you, I'm innocent. And I'm not the only one you're hurting. My wife, she's pregnant. We've moved here for a better life, for a young family. She needs me. Our baby needs me. Then you should have used your words instead of a knife, huh, Stabby Joe? No, 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 no! As you wail, the guard yanks you by the elbow, leading you out of the room and into the cell, keeping you from everything you know and love. Months later, you're woken by the rattling of a nightstick against the cell bars. Stabby Joe, front and center. What do you want this time, Danes? Did they never put him in another outfit other than what he was admitted in? Didn't you hear? I want you front and center. The guard advances, forcing you into a corner as he brandishes his nightstick. Wait, please! But instead of the brutal swing, you're expecting cold metal clamps around your wrists and you find yourself handcuffed. Where are you taking me? You'll see when we get there now, won't you? He leads you through the hallways, and as fear coats the back of your tongue, you can't help but the despair that floods through you. Today's the day. He's finally going to kill me. Annie, I'm so sorry. I promised to protect you, and I failed. You enter a darkened hallway out of sight from the rest of the prison and steel yourself for your last moments, only for Officer Danes to open the door to the warden's office. Inside, a judge awaits. What's going on? Joseph Campbell, the appeal you filed with the court has been determined in your favor due to proof of wrongful imprisonment. Your sentence is hereby vacated. What? What? The judge pauses before offering a sympathetic smile. You're free to go, Mr. Campbell, with the court's apologies. Thank you. The guard leads you out of the courthouse, unshackling you on the steps. He mutters to you under his breath. You might be free from prison, but you'll never be free from me. I know what you did, and I'm going to make you pay. Before you have a chance to respond, he shoves you forward, disappearing back into the courthouse, and you hear the sweetest sound you've ever heard. Joseph! Annie! You run to embrace your wife, more visibly pregnant than the last time you saw her from behind bars. My love, I missed you so much. We'll never be apart again, not if I have anything to say about it. But Officer Danes never forgot his promise, and it ate at him until one dark night he set out to make all of Morellic Island's worst nightmares come true. Campbell's not getting away scot-free. Not on my watch, that bastard's gonna pay. The guard drags a half-conscious young officer through the tunnels, dropping him in the dirt before drawing a knife and finishing him off with a vicious gash across his throat. So the officer was Stabby Joe. Okay? He ambles through the tunnel, past a trail of similarly mutilated corpses, and emerges at a house newly built for the young family living inside. Campbell, come out and face me like a man, or the whole place goes up in smoke. Inside, you look out at him, your wife by your side, shaken. Stay inside, Annie. Keep Clara out of sight, hide in the cellar. I'll come get you when it's safe. Joe, I can't lose you, please. Be careful. I will. I promise. You kiss Annie on the cheek, and the little girl in her arms, and help them down into the cellar. I'll be back soon. He never changes his outfit, You close the door, then hear the guard shout from outside again. Campbell! Alright, I'm coming out. I should bring a weapon outside. Go out with my hands up. Does it matter? Grab the recently finished axe, handle leaning against a wall. Holding it loosely by your side, you push open the door. What are you doing here, Officer Danes? You tell me. I see you're armed. Just as a precaution. I don't want to use it, but I will if I have to. Now tell me what you want. I'm here as a courtesy, to let you know this is your last night as a free man. What are you talking about? The murder and brutalization of countless officers and civilians doesn't ring a bell? Well, the judge is going to love that. That's ridiculous, Danes. I've been home all night, and my wife can vouch for that. No, she can't, because in your bloodlust you killed her, and your little girl before I was able to stop you. Danes pulls out a blood-stained blade, brandishing it in the dim night light. It's a shame, really. Take another step and I will end you. I'd like to see you try. Officer Danes moves towards you. You surge forward, raising the axe handle above your head like a club. This is your last chance. Leave. I'll have no chance but to make you. That's what I was hoping you'd say. Danes advances on you. You match him stride for stride, swinging the handle down hard at his head. He tries to dodge, but isn't fast enough to avoid being clipped on the shoulder. Now get out of here! Not until you're sent back to where you belong. You bring the club up again, and the guard grabs the other end and twists, wrenching it out of your hands and hurling it out of reach. Grab his knife, knock the knife out of his hand. You swing your fist at his wrist, knocking the knife to the ground a few yards away before blocking his path to it. I'm sorry, but I can't let you hurt my family. Oh, you're not going to let me do anything. You're going to watch. Dane lunges for it, and immediately you fall on him in the hope of subduing him. It doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to do this. Give up, Campbell. I won't stop until you're rotting where you belong, in the prison cemetery. I'm never going back to that hellhole. The two of you grapple with each other, neither one able to get the upper hand until finally you muster all your strength and pin him down with all of your might. I have a family, people who need me. I would never do anything to leave them, so why do you keep trying to make me? Because for the moment I looked into your eyes, I saw the evil in you. You don't belong in this town, and I'll do whatever I have to save the people of Marillic Island from you. Even if it means killing them. Whatever it takes. His eyes flicker to the knife between you, and at once you know he'll never stop. In perfect sync, you each lunge for it. No! But your palm finds the handle, and with one quick slash you slide the blade across his neck. I'm sorry, but I have to protect the right people to protect too. He tries to form words, but it's too late. He falls to the ground dead, his blood soaking into the island he loved in all the wrong ways. How exactly are we seeing this? No, I'm serious. How exactly are we seeing this? In the warden's office, you fish out paperwork for countless lawsuits for libel, defamation, both from your ancestor and later his estate. You collected all the Stabby Joe lore. Look at all the fortitude, boys. Listen, I can now tank Kratos. I'm serious. These are all from against filmmakers, production companies, newspapers. Anyone who dared to mention the name Stabby Joe. And it looks like he won every case. The lawsuits go right up through my grandfather. My dad is the one who didn't stand up for him. Instead, he signed away the rights for the movie to be made. I found his records right here. Joseph Campbell, sentence overturned. Your ancestor wasn't a monster. He was just protecting his family, Sam. I can't believe it, guys. Stabby Joe, Joseph Campbell, was innocent. Okay. We have a lot to discuss. So, first and foremost, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. You know the rest. Otherwise, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, but here we go. First and foremost, how the hell was this in the warden's office? No, just stop for a minute. Just let's think about this for a minute. So, the penitentiary's closed down. Right? The writing for this book seriously makes no sense. So, the penitentiary for this, it's all closed down, right? The warden, I'm assuming, is either moved on, died, whatever. And so, this evidence that just so happens to conveniently land in your lap says that Joseph Campbell, your ancestor, Stabby Joe, right? He's been wrongfully convicted as that, or by public opinion. It's him, and why your dad signed away the thing. Is your dad still alive so we can go interrogate him? Because I'd love that. Anyway, listen, it's for money, but at the same time, listen, I clearly he's won every lawsuit, right? So you would think that your family would not be hard off because you've won every lawsuit. So that's what I'm really confused on. So I'm really confused on that. I'm confused on, why this evidence is just conveniently here, why the warden knew, how the warden knew, what the actual hell... it makes no sense. Did he write a memoir? How did they link... we're talking about, let's think of the age of this right now, and the age of when all the Stabby Joe shit happened. So we're talking 20, 30 years, DNA analysis isn't there, fingerprints isn't there. None of that is there. Literally. What in the actual hell? Okay, so, no, seriously. None of this makes sense. Was this wrote by AI? I'm serious. I've been doing a lot of, apps involving them. And, I just want to know, was this wrote by AI? Because, Pixelberry, I wouldn't put it past you at this point. You've had so many writers leave, it's not funny. None of this makes sense. None of it makes sense. I need someone in the comment section to maybe make this make sense for me, because it makes no absolute sense at all for me. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm being livid right now. It makes no sense, and I need someone somewhere to make it make sense for me. Please. I've never been this... I've read a lot of stories in my time. I've watched a lot of TV shows, movies, all my nerds. I love a good cliffhanger. But that's keyword, a cliffhanger. This is just downright stupidity. I can understand cover-ups and everything, but at the same time, you're just stumbling upon this detail for detail wrote and made in the warden's office. I can understand you found a journal by Joseph Campbell. I can understand, you found, an audio confessional, and this is what happened, and Joseph Campbell was telling the story or something. I can understand it, but this is paperwork in the warden's office by the warden. It makes no sense. So again, I need someone. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Who misses It Lives Below, In the Woods? Who misses Endless Summer? I miss good quality writing when Pixelberry used to do it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace out.